Hunter will be back on its new day and time, Tuesday, December 29th. Now stay tuned for a fun-filled Jack Parr special next.
Portions of tonight's program are in black and white. I'm sorry. In the beginning, the first big hit was, of all things, the Society columnist Elsa Maxwell.
I see your holster's beginning to show, dear. She's armed. Oh,
I'll have you know.
What are you doing there? Watch you start an avalanche. Watch it there.
So charming and sweet. All this audience, not only you, because of course you're first, but all through the country. They've sent me 8 pairs. Have been sent to me by
8 pairs of what?
Things to fasten up something. I don't know what fastens up. Look and see. What fastens up? I don't know.
You mean it holds the?
I don't know. Wait a minute.
Are you wearing 8 pairs or what?
No, I'm not wearing any. I promise would have to.
How much weight did you lose?
Maurice Chevalier in this house. One of my own friends.
You know, my dear, it's his courtesy that I should sit down after you, but I never know when you're going to drop it, you know. I don't know.
Drop what?
She can be in midair longer than anybody I ever saw. Have you ever spoken so frankly before the public?
Oh, I don't think I've ever been asked questions like this before. I have not.
Well, you're with Big Mouth. The question then is Hoffa an improvement over Dave Beck?
Oh, there's no comparison between Mr. Hoffa and Mr. Beck. Mr. Beck was just a thief. I mean, this is not...
We may be in court together, you and I. I hope the hell you know what you're doing, because I don't know anything. I'm just... I'm leaving the Tonight Show. There must be a better way of making a living than this. You have been peachy to me always. Here's Jack! As I was saying before I was interrupted, I believe my last words were that there must be a better way of making a living than this. Well, I have looked. And there isn't.
From NBC in New York, where Jack Parr is alive and well. And now, here's Jack.
In 1962, that was on the last week that I did The Tonight Show, there was a young man who came on the show. He'd been on many times, always did very, very well. This night, something happened. It was the biggest explosion of laughter I had ever heard. The encore went on and on. Now you say, oh, that's that Jack Parr building everybody up again. Well, the point is, I'm going to show it to you, and you'll see.
I want to leave you with the words of another great man, Ed Sullivan. Ed Sullivan, who unfortunately has been stuck in his collar all his life. That's why to this day he walks around like this. Here, for the very first time on any stage. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time on any stage, I'm going to present 900 Episcopalian rabbis.
Now, you know how me and my superlatives. I'll tell you right now, this is the end of the whole darn 5 years. That's the funniest routine I've ever seen in my life. Hey, I'll sign you right now at your highest price. The highest price you ever got.
I am really thrilled and stunned that you should say this. I've worked very desperately hard for so many years to reach this point, just to be acceptable on television. And to reach the point where you would say this to me touches me very deeply. I'm very, very grateful. I really am. But I can't make it.
Can I please sell something? No, that probably, Jackie, was the greatest moment. I mean, there were a lot of great moments on this show, but I never saw anything that funny. And you did everything just like I told you to. That's what pleases me so. Not one false gesture.
I'm really very grateful. It's very kind of you.
Now here's...
As a matter of fact...
Oh, shut up.
That was a great moment. Okay. That was a great moment. Now, here's a greater moment. Here is the talk of Broadway, Jackie Mason.
Well, it's a thrill to see me again. I didn't know I was such a big hit, otherwise I wouldn't have come back so cheap. I am delighted to find out that I'm a stand-up comedian again here. I'm just looking at myself. I look a little older than I did. But I didn't come here to tell jokes. I'm too successful. I don't need this. I'm very touched and grateful by Jack Parr. It's amazing how much Gentiles go for Jewish comedians. And he talked about prejudice that I suffered from in this business. I really suffered only from prejudice from Jews who felt I was too Jewish. I never suffered from any prejudice from Gentiles. I only bumped into Jews who kept saying he's too Jewish. Jews are proud to be Jewish as long as you don't sound Jewish. After every show on Broadway, there's at least one little lady that comes over to me and says, "You don't have to talk like that. Why do you talk like that?" Hey, can't you talk like me? Talk like a regular person. All the Jews I know tell me how proud they are of Jewish identity. Jewish identity is so proud, so proud, proud. Then they cut off their names, they cut off their nose, they cut off everything. They cut off everything. Do I look Jewish? No, thank God for that. I see you have to be thanking God for whatever you are. That's why we live in a great country like this. This is the greatest country in the world. Any country that could have Ronald Reagan for president of the United States. I'm not going to make fun of him. I can't stand those type of comedians. I hope you don't get the wrong impression. I hate comedians who make fun of a person just because he don't know what he's doing. I think he's one of the greatest presidents that ever lived. That's my honest opinion. It just so happens this is not his field. No matter what happens, he never read it, he never saw it, he never heard about it. Every time you see him, he jumps on a horse, he eats jelly beans and runs and runs and runs. He's always busy and busy. They keep hollering, "Mr. President!" They keep hollering, "Where you going?" He's busy coming and going. He's a great president. It's a whole new experience in the presidency. We never had a president before who doesn't get involved in politics. It's not his business. That's why he keeps laughing all the time. He keeps laughing and laughing. Nobody knows the joke. I found out what he's laughing at. He can't believe he got the job. He's just the opposite of every president we ever had. Every president always looked troubled and miserable. Remember how Carter looked so buoyant and nauseous, and remember Johnson terrified to hug him. Remember Nixon nauseous to this guy. Every president we ever had was always going crazy because they could never figure out the solution. This man don't know there's a problem. I like him best when he's doing nothing. He's so proud when he's accomplishing nothing that you can't tell that nothing happened. When he came back from Reykjavik from that meeting with Gorbachev, he made an announcement. Nothing happened. And everybody said, thank God, that's it. Then he jumped on a horse. Where you going? See, the guy that should be president is Ted Kennedy. That's the man I like. Because he's a brilliant man. Nobody knows how brilliant he is. Because when he talks, nothing comes out. He's running for 20 years back and forth. Nobody knows a word he ever said. Nobody ever heard him. All his life, he's saying the same thing. They said, is that true? Oh, I never said that. Oh, I said, said, we can't have a country, Why do people say that I said, I never said that. I said, and everybody said, he's right. See, Henry Kissinger had the right answer to this whole situation. Do you know what Henry Kissinger said? You like it, you cock it, you cheat it, you pocket, you pocket like it. Many people have said to me, you just once and for all, we have to remember, they pocket, they like it, they pocket ticket, they pocket that. Why should we take it in pocket? We could never see this again. Once and for all, I said to the president, I said, Mr. President, you have to remember the pocket like it. We could never see the pocket. Otherwise, it's up to you. There's only one great speaker in the world today, Jesse Jackson. Everybody will tell you that Jesse Jackson's the greatest orator of our time. Everybody says it, even though they never heard one word he said. He's the only guy who talks worse than Ted Kennedy. Nobody ever heard a word he said, but they think he's brilliant. They don't know why, but they hear it rhyme. When it rhymes, it rhymes. I don't fly, I don't go, I don't die, I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to leave you now, but I don't know how to get out of here.
Have you met Deborah Needle?
Oh, I know. She makes up for me. She marries everybody she sees.
Okay, Deborah. Now, you told me that you said you thought that you knew him when he was an Irish actor. You said that.
I did. I did, Jackie, when he used to talk like this. I mean, it's long before your career started. And I don't know why I was talking like this. Like, everything all of a sudden becomes Jewish. Like, I mean, it's really terrific. I like your accent.
Sounds like Henry Kissinger to me.
No, Henry talks, I loved you, Henry, like, I have to run this tape forever. No, well, you know, when I was married, naturally, I'm to Jewish men before, and it took me years to learn how to perfect the ch in Jewish. Like, I'm being a shiksa, you know, Nazarene religion and all that. You don't pronounce the guttural sounds, so you know, tochosov and tish and and then like mishpucha. You know, it cost me $30 million to learn how to do ch.
Why did you never marry?
I didn't marry because I don't need a partner.
Well, marriage isn't...
All my life I work alone. What do I need a partner for? It took me a lifetime to become a hit. Every time you make enough money, somebody else decides that you make enough for her to move in. There's no system in the world where one person makes all the money and the other one becomes your partner for nothing. For nothing. I can understand it. Years ago, there was a reason to get married. Years ago, a Jewish wife or any wife, they used to cook for you, clean for you, work for you. They did everything on the side for you. Today, when a woman says, I do, that's the last thing she does. And not only that, the marital institution in this country is basically a fraud. It's a fraud in most cases. If marriage means the exclusivity of an arrangement where two people are faithful to each other, that's the most essential premise of marriage, the basic ingredient. The basic idea of marriage is the faithfulness between two people towards each other. Nobody is faithful anymore. It's marriage in name only. Most people are liars and frauds in their marriages. It's a hypocritical institution now, because 80% of the married men cheat in America. The rest of them cheat in Europe. The truth of the matter is Jewish women cheat even more. I don't know if you heard about it. No. Italian women don't cheat because an Italian woman knows if she gets caught, she'll get killed. A Jewish wife takes a chance because if a Jewish husband catches her, is he going to hit her? A Jewish man would never hit. He'd call up his mother. What should I do? What should I do? Throw her out? How can I throw her out? The guy is still here. What do you want from me?
You know that Jackie was a rabbi. Did you know that?
That's right. Why, you think they thought I was a priest?
What?
You think I was a priest?
No, what I meant, the philosophical part of you is deeply ingrained in your faith and all.
Thank you. I'm glad you thought it up.
I think the 25 years of hardships that you did have when you didn't work and didn't play the big houses or the big theaters or the big anything. But I think that sadness that you had, and I know a little bit about it, I think that's what's made you so damn funny today.
I don't think you need that to be so funny.
You'd rather die the other way.
I don't think you have to get wiped out to become hilarious. I think getting wiped out doesn't make you funny, it makes you nauseous. Yeah, it makes you miserable. But the truth of the matter is that I never lost my sense of humor, and I didn't consider myself such a tragic person. I think people are too involved in their own ego trips, and they take themselves too seriously, and their own stardom becomes the only thing they have to live for. You ought to thank God you're living on the side, that you're making a living, you have your strength and your health, and you can look through the window and see what life is about. Yeah.
There is a difference. You have some funny stories about Gentiles and Jews and Italians and cooking. That the Italians are always in the kitchen.
Right.
Making,
I say a Jewish wife can't find the kitchen.
Is it true that there is a resentment about the princess jokes that are going around, the Jewish princes? Is it? Would you say
there's a resentment about those jokes, but it's because they resent the jokes. Their behavior hasn't changed. The jokes they live with.
Don't they cook? Jewish women can't cook?
Jewish women, if they cook, they don't like to cook. Before they make one meal, they make 12 deals. If I cook today, I don't cook tomorrow. If I cook tomorrow, I'm off Thursday. Friday, I'm at a Chinese restaurant. Saturday, I'm at another Chinese. Every Jewish man that gets married knows he's going to spend the rest of his life going from one Chinese restaurant. They make a deal with a Chinaman before the wedding that this will be it.
What about Italians? Italian women?
I resent Chinese people anyway. They never eat in Jewish restaurants. Well, that's the truth. For 5,000 years, every Jew is eating in a Chinese restaurant. Do you ever see one Chinese person in a Jewish restaurant?
No, I never did.
I never saw a Chinaman saying, I'm looking for a piece of gefilte fish.
What about Italian women? Now, they're good cooks.
Italian women do cook. They're still in the kitchen. Go into any Italian home, I don't care if it's 4 o'clock in the morning, sauces are flying. So. Every room has a sauce in the toilet, in the hallway, in the kitchen. I got the sauce, in case he comes home. Haha, the sauce. It's not nice to categorize people. You can't generalize 100% about any denomination. But you can't deny that cultural values do pertain. You are, to some extent, a reflection of your history. If you travel the world, you'll notice people do behave differently in different countries. You can't compare a Japanese wife to an American wife. Obviously, they behave differently. A Jewish husband is comparable to a Japanese wife.
How do you,
I didn't find that.
how do you feel about that, Miss Needleman?
Oh, Miss Needleman. Well, I think you'd make a very good husband.
Does anyone here have an idea how we can end this damn show? I've been trying, I'll tell you, for the last 20 minutes, I've been trying to think of an ending.
You want me to tell you the truth? It didn't have a beginning. Why did you think?